I don't know if you can see the downy there, but she's working away at the old apple tree that went kaput, and we're gonna have our deck dinner. So it rained quite a bit, so we covered the chairs. That's James's dinner, and that's my dinner right there. And he has a smoothie, I do not. We're gonna talk about this, my father's glory and my mother's castle, which got top of the stack against all of these other things. So we'll talk about all of those things. But
all today.
yes, I hope so. And I'll see if I have James in the shot. I never know if I do. Oh yes, he's there. So I might be able to give you a little bit more of him. There we are. And so let's move my little hat a little bit. It's not my hat, it's the camera's hat. Oi, crumple, crumple as I sit.
I was worried the chair was crumpling.
No, it's the plastic I put on because the chair is wet. So, I guess I want to eat a little bit, so can you talk about something in here first? You just choose anything from this.
Yeah, I only saw the first one of these two. First one was awesome. Pauline was saying maybe the second one was even better than the first one.
So good. They were both great, and they have to be watched together, and of course my father's before my mother's. But so this is my meal is keto. This is keto cheese-filled manicotti, which I made here, which is not manicotti. I made it out of, but it looks like it, doesn't it? I made it out of the, it's not zucchini, it's another kind of squash that tastes a little bit better than zucchini, but looks a lot like it. But it's kind of has this perfumey, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a nice one. I can't remember. We grew it last year, and this is the last one that I cut up. So I cut up the last one today. I don't know how much rain weather we'll have to cool down the house so that I can do cooking like that, right? So I wanted to make sure I did use up the squash that way so that it would be used and used well. So, and then I just have my usual salad on the side. This time I put some cilantro in there because why not? James's meal isn't keto, but it would be if it wasn't for the pizza. That's all. So I just want to, I haven't tried this yet. I have a feeling it's going to be delish. Very nice. So I'm really impressed with myself. That's a good recipe. So yeah, all I did is I cut the, like you could make it with zucchini too. I just used the potato peeler and peeled off strips and laid it in a pan, like a casserole. Laid the strips overlapping so that they, and then I put the cottage cheese mixed with mozzarella, garlic, basil, and oregano, and in the middle. And then I put a couple or three asparagus spears in the middle of that. 3, I think. And then I rolled them up, and then I just kept rolling until the pan was full. And yum. I see James is eager to try it. What do you think about that?
That's awesome.
I know, eh? It's better than I thought it would be. It's delicious.
A little bit of a squash or something like that.
Yeah.
Just squash usually tastes bland to me, I'm sure.
Yeah, but this squash doesn't. This squash is... We grew it last year, and I remember thinking, why bother, you know? Whatever, it'll be like zucchinis, but not. It's way better. I can't remember what it's called.
I hope you folks at home are taking notes who are interested in cooking, because this is an awesome recipe. It tastes so good. Goes down easily. Man.
That is so delicious. That is really good. But I like asparagus. And honestly, I was thinking, should I put the asparagus in? But yeah, it's great.
Yeah. It's healthy too. Now, should I start talking?
You could, or I could, whatever you want.
I've got stuff.
Okay, good.
I've got one.
When James said he's going through all the extras, because there's a lot of there's people that are interviewed in the extras that they weren't featured into the feature.
A couple of people. They kept it. I'm not saying mercifully brief, because mercifully brief would be just, there are these morons out there. You're not supposed to say that. Moron just means dull in the original Greek. Okay? Dull people. I think they're really hot. I'm not going to say what sort of hot stuff they think they are, but I'm thinking of that. But relatively mercifully brief. I think they got it done before in less than an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
I know.
Yeah, James said he's going to go through the whole thing again too and make notes. So
get ready,
stay
folks.
tuned. This is just a little.
Yeah, if you're thrilled to this kind of sort of stuff, you're going to be feeling really exercised. I hope. Hopefully, along with feeling exercise, just exercise your brain. So examine life. So they quote early on, maybe often, Plato apparently said somewhere along the line, the examine life is not worth living. Now, why we'd quote Plato as an authority on anything, I have no idea. I don't really consider him a philosopher. I think of him as a failed creator of a religion. I don't know. Okay, so.
Man, that was good.
This, I and Pauline actually contribute to the making of this show. My brother, who's dead now, contributed, because he lived in Ontario, and it's the Ontario government contributed to making this, and the Canadian government did. When did this crapper, this outhouse? 2008. So it actually probably was filmed before the big crash. They weren't talking about it. So I'm going to give not an honors roll call, but a dishonors roll call here. The scumbugs are involved. Cornell West, Avital Ronell, Peter Singer is supposed to be hurting them. The most influential philosopher of his time, our time. Interesting. Kwame Anthony Appiah, named after Kwame Nkrumah, former misleader of Ghana. Martha Nussbaum. Nussbaum. It means nut tree in German. Michael Hart. So that's hard with a T on the end. Tells you how to pronounce it, I guess. The only one I think I've run across Peter Singer. The only one I've run across, or kind of run across me, Slavoj Žižek, Judith Butler, and Sonara Taylor. And is that in order of appearance? You know, it just might be. So. And the ones who didn't make it into the thing are Colin McGinn and Simon Critchley. maybe there are two. Well, they're guys for one thing, and they seem very British by name and stuff like that. So. Yeah, weirdly enough, I think they probably thought it was too much of a sausage party already, because 5 of the 9 were guys. Now, understand, I don't think Slavoj Žižek really counts as a white guy. He's not a Western, Slovenian. Michael Hart looked very, very white. Peter Singer, I guess. Although with a last name like his, I think he actually, some of his ancestors came from Southwest Asia. Maybe the Holy Land. Anyway, so we're going to start with Slavoj Žižek. Comes from a former communist country. By this time, communism had been dead in all but a few people's head for at least the Soviet version, which is what he would have been raised on. Had been dead for, 17 years or something like that. This is put out 2008. So Slavoj Žižek is hanging around looked like a dump or a place where they were recycling, trying to recycle. Someone was recycling a fridge and didn't bother to clean the fridge out. Talk about lazy, but at least they're trying. It was full, well, it wasn't full, but there's what was in essence garbage inside.
That's funny.
Probably sour milk and whatever. Yeah. The crisper, whatever. What do they call that bottom? Crisper. So that needed a cleaning for quite a while. Stuff like that. So he was making, I don't know, he was making, I think garbage is great, something like that. He turned it
That's what he was
into
saying?
art. He kind of a counterintuitive thinker. You know, if you're a counterintuitive thinker, you're doing experiments, and you got to accept it that your success rate, unless you're really, really sharp, like supernaturally sharp, is going to be like 5% or 1% or whatever. So it's good to think of new things, but don't go around presenting these new ideas as anything but stupid if they really are stupid. So he was saying you could turn this stuff into art. Well, you know, some Douglas Copeland's thing, you know, where he's arranging this, that, it kind of looks like garbage.
Yeah, but art for the most part is just, it's in the process of recycling garbage and becoming garbage again, right? Like it's, most of it, there's a lot of art out there. There's a lot of people. And
you get a good sense of it if you're out there shopping for canvases. Because you shop for canvases, and what's usually on you will use the back side of the canvases.
Yeah, usually I pick up just canvases that other people have discarded, right? They've painted something on it and weren't happy with it, and then I get it, right?
Yeah, or discarded.
So then I take out the
staples
staples and I flip it around and I re-stretch it onto the frame, which doesn't work great because it's already had the gesso and the paint on it, but it works well enough. Anyway, so what would you say, like I put it here in the stack.
It's bottom.
You say it's bottom.
It's bottom full.
I watched some really junky things, and this I'm sure has given you things to talk about. And it, right away when I was watching it, it gave me some things to talk about. So I mean, I have a lot of fiction here.
Yeah, this is like...
You got to know what other people are thinking.
You know, it's not that much different from someone walking around and talking to a militia type or a Nazi type and going, yeah, without asking I mean, these aren't interviews. They're being allowed to lecture.
I know. And they're people from, they're more, they're not from the poorer end of the spectrum. These are people that, they're from academia, right? They're parasites off the working poor.
If they're this kind of academia,
here they feel like they're so enlightened, you know, and they need to inform all
and they're talking for the small people.
Yeah, which, how could they know? You know,
they're
like
the vanguards of the revolution. Yeah.
Like the one man, I can't remember his name, the first guy who spoke, and they bounced around, they have him on the back here.
Yeah, what is his name?
I don't know.
Simon Nutbar, Cornell West. Yeah.
Okay. So, I should have guessed that's his first name. Anyway, so at one point he's talking about how he quotes Yeats and saying, right? You remember that part. It's important. So he's trying to inform everyone about how hard his work is as a philosopher, right? And how Yeats said that it's hard to, I don't know, look at the darkness within oneself, or harder to do that than to do any other kind of work or whatever, manual labor or something like that. And it's like, right away I said, well, what would Yeats know? I mean, he didn't have to do manual labor ever in his life, I think, so... Well,
he was very poor.
Well, he worked
living as an artist.
He worked as a politician.
Eventually, but that's only later in life.
Okay, maybe he did know
He
that.
was very poor, but he, so far as I know, he didn't do a stitch of work in his life.
Okay. Well, anyway.
He lived the life of something like an artist, right?
But when he talked about Yeats, we were both reminded of Yeats talking about how hard it is to write poetry. It's harder than this and that and whatever. He wrote about that. No, it's not.
Like how much you suffer writing poetry.
Not. It's a fun pastime.
I am not kidding
Sometimes
you, folks.
I almost sweat over it. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, what am I going to write? Like I was writing this poem this morning, and honestly, I've been thinking about it. I've written some things in the meantime. I've been thinking about this poem for literally a week. It was a week ago that we did this hike, and I was thinking it's a great topic. We saw a bear at a picnic shelter, very cute, that we were planning to picnic in.
Pauline pretty well saw him face to face. She got out of the vehicle.
I did get out of the vehicle. I didn't know the bear was there, and the bear was on the other side of the vehicle, though. So there was a vehicle length between me and the bear.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't quite a vehicle length?
Oh, I thought you said it was the other side of the vehicle. Only when you got, it was like, here's the vehicle.
Yeah.
Here's the bear. Here's the picnic shelter.
Yeah.
Or something was up there. Pauline got out of the vehicle here. I found a nice place to park. I wondered what the park was.
Yeah, we were wondering why it was empty, because it had been full. When we were up on Crandall, we could look down at McNeely's, and we were like, we won't be able to, I'd planned a picnic there, and it's full.
I found one place that was open. It was handicapped. But people were being honest, right? So I had that all set up. When I got there, it was open, and every other
spot was open too.
So I came in here, and Pauline came out here. And then I was looking around saying, where's the bear? Where's it? Because I was looking at, it had been across the creek. There was a creek there. It's a wonderful setting for a picnic shelter. And then I looked here. So Pauline was on the same side.
Yeah,
there was the bear there.
It wasn't very
kind
far
of mooching
away
around.
anyway.
No,
but it was a very civilized bear in any case.
Yeah, it was a very good bear.
But it's unpleasant when you don't realize a bear there, and then you realize a bear's there, and you're like, oh my god.
Really close.
I ran back into the
more than a car length away, but I just told her to get in the car. I wasn't telling her there was a bear there.
I saw the bear at the same time. I thank you for telling me, just in case I hadn't seen the bear. But yeah, anyway, so I was running for it. So I had this poem that I knew I had to write. And I'm weak, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not coming into my head. And last night, I was talking to my angels, and they were like, yeah, you should be writing that poem. And so then I said, well, I'm going to need some help with it. So I asked my angels and God for help. This morning I woke up, sure enough, poem in my head. So I'm writing. And then I get near the end, and I'm like, what do I write? and I don't know what my last lines are. So James came over, we went for a walk, and usually that's what happens. If I can't think of something, I go for a walk, and the blood flowing to my brain, whatever, I don't know what, there it was. So I have my last lines of poem. They're awesome. They're getting down. That's great. So you could say, yeah, I sweated over this thing for a week, but I really didn't. You know, it just wasn't coming. And so then finally, it came. And then it came, and I'm writing, right? And while I'm doing my workout, so I'm moving, blood to the brain, right? And I'd write a little more, and then I'd move, and then I'd write a little more, and that's how I did it. So, and that's how I generally do it. Walking makes the poetry flow, but it's also sleeping, and, you know, I go to bed thinking, oh, I need to write this, or I want to write this, and so then I wake up and my angels have put it in my brain. It's there, it's just coming out. So, anyway, I guess I should start talking about this stuff. Or I won't get a chance.
So tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, so my father's glory, my mother's castle. I had, thank you Elizabeth Ginn for bringing me to see this when I was a teenager, because this is marvelous. I went to the theater, she brought me in, and she was asking me, so what do you think of it? What do you think of it? Well, the thing was going, and I was like, yeah, it's nice, and she asked me some questions, and I was like, she got to know, well, I didn't know what was going on in the show, and I hadn't realized it was a subtitles movie. I didn't wear my glasses then, and so I had no idea what was going on, but I was very thankful, and now I've finally seen it. So great. This, you know, at first I thought, when I first started watching my mother's castle, I thought My Father's Glory is better. When I got to the end of My Mother's Castle, I was bawling. I loved it. But they have to be watched together. The actors, wow. Whoever did the casting, top notch. They got, the child actors were good actors. And they looked like the actors they got for the children to grow up, you know. They looked the same. I don't know how they did it. Perfect. I haven't seen anybody do such a good job with casting as these guys did.
The father's hilarious. He's a great comic actor.
Oh, he is. Wow. The story is great.
Yeah.
Everything about this, the scenery, oh, so wonderful. You're looking at the beautiful scenery, how it opens up, and oh, terrific. Everyone needs to watch this.
This might be the best movie. The first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Yep. The best French movie ever made.
Yeah, I've ever seen.
But I mean, the two go together. So I can't pick one over the other. They go together. So there you go. Death Hunt. On December 31st, 1931, lone trapper Albert Johnson shot and killed a man in self-defense in a remote Yukon cabin. So this is an awesome story. So this it's based on a true story, and it says so at the beginning of the show, and it says on the back, based on the incredible true story of the deadliest manhunt in history. So not just, I thought it was Canadian history, deadliest manhunt. No, in history, period, they're saying. So, I don't know if that's true. But a lot of people died.
I don't think he killed the guy in self-defense. You know, spoiler alert, it says on the back he killed four people. Yeah?
Oh, there were so many people that got killed.
Well, more than four.
Yeah, lots of people got killed. So, anyway, but not all were his fault. And honestly, they were in self-defense. He did kill in self-defense. But there was no way that if this is how the story actually unfolded, he wasn't going to make it to get a fair hearing or anything like that.
We're just going to wipe him out.
Yeah, so he actually, and the I guess sheriff, or what would you call, I guess he was the head Mountie? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd call him. But he realized that, no, that guy did exactly what I would have done. So he's kind of easy on the guy. Maybe let him get away, but maybe not. I mean, this is just, it's how it's portrayed that, well, if the other guys, he's going to have to catch him if other guys in the party insist on it, right? But I don't know. What a story. Everyone needs to watch this. So great. I mean, a lot of people, this just alone, they would side with Charles Bronson, his character, because, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like dogfighting people, and that Lee Marvin's character was wrong in that. He should have shut that down, because you can't let aggressive people make up their own laws in a democracy. You cannot. You can't let it happen. They just keep pushing further and further, taking more.
Freedoms infringe on everyone else's.
Yeah, and in this case, they infringed on this guy. He was seeing the dog was getting killed. It was not going to last through that fight, and he stepped in, and people were mad about it, right? Because they're watching this dog fight, and he stepped in, and he's taken the dog away, and the owner of the dog's like, "That's my dog." And so he throws $100 at the guy, and the guy says, "That dog's worth $200." And so he gave him another $100, you know. But so he did pay the guy what the guy said the dog was worth. But the guy didn't want to sell the dog, but the dog was not worth that when the guy carted him away. He was a dead duck, you know. And the guy nursed him back to health, and the story went on from there. And a lot of people, they don't like dog fighters. They don't like aggressive people who watch dog fighting. And they definitely, if somebody's coming to shoot them while they're in their home, they're probably going to side with the guy who's shooting back.
Right.
So that's a story everyone would like. Moby Dick. This took me a long time to get through.
And that's with
And
exercising?
even with exercising while
I
watching
haven't gone
it.
through it.
And in the back, I thought it was funny because Captain Ahab, William Hurt from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Do you think of him from that?
No.
And Ethan Hawke from Leave the World Behind, which I don't even know what that is, but Gillian Anderson from Tron Ares, come on. From X-Files.
Yeah.
And Donald Sutherland from The Hunger Games, come on now. So they were giving us all these recent titles, and it's like Gillian Anderson from Tron Ares, no, X-Files. And she actually, in the X-Files, she had a dog briefly that was named Queequeg. So that's what to put here, is X-Files. So anyway, this was from a while back. This is the 15th anniversary edition, and this was put out in 2011.
Yeah.
So the special effects maybe not as great as the ones you'd see today. And honestly, I realize this is historical. They used to do a lot of, like, this isn't true, but of course, Moby Dick, come on. But anyway, but this is historical in the fact that people used to kill a lot of whales. Whaling was popular. People needed use the whale oil to light their homes and stuff. Really, whoever you want to give credit for the invention of electricity, they saved a lot of whales. So they're environmentalists
For a while.
as well as whatever else.
The Japanese started taking over.
Yeah. Yeah, and now they're probably all going to go anyway. So, Last Embrace. This started out so well. Both James and I thought this is going to be a great movie. We were really pulled into it right away. The mystery was there. And then it was the fault of the actress that they got. She was terrible. Just absolutely terrible.